All right. Most of you should have your notebooks. I've asked you to bring in a three-subject notebook. I have an example of a three-subject notebook right here. Okay. The point of this is I want to show you how we're going to set them up for our class. We're going to use these for almost everything. If you've not brought it in today, you need to have it by next class, or you'll start to fall behind in points. And there's no reason to do that. So what we're going to do with our notebooks is you have at least 3 subjects and you have pockets. All right. Some of you might have 5 subjects. That's okay. If you only have a 1 subject, that's not what I asked for. You need 3. All right. You need to have at least 3 and you need to have pockets because we're going to put information in. You can see this is a senior one from this last semester. They have notes, they have write-ups, all this stuff. The first section of your notebook, the very first section should be notes. Okay. So you just, all right. I'm sorry. The first section of your notebook should be do nows. So I want you to go ahead and make that your do now section. That's where you're going to put your reading log, and your do now reflections are going to go in there. The middle section is going to be classwork. All right. And you can do exactly what they did here. You can just use that first page and put classwork. All right. So this is stuff we're doing in class. Assignments I gave you that I need you to work on. That's going to be the middle section. And the very last section is going to be notes. All right. So go ahead and set that up for notes. And that's the whole thing. So we have 3 sections. Your very first section is just going to be your do now section. Middle section is going to be classwork. Third section is going to be notes. All right. And we're going to take notes as we go. I want to get started right away. So here's the first thing we're going to do with notes. Go to your notes section, and I want you to answer this question in your notebook. All right. In your notes section, in the notebooks, put down a date, and then tell me, what is Worldview Seminar? What do you think it is? We're going to split that into 2 different parts. The first part is this. What does worldview mean? And then the next question is we're going to talk about what a seminar is. So I'm going to pause this. So go ahead and pause it here. And then in 5 minutes, come back and I'll show you what I think our working definition of worldview is. All right. Hopefully you got some good answers there. I'm curious to see what you think. Here's our working definition. Worldview is how one views and interacts with the world at a deep philosophical, spiritual level. So this is how you think about the world that you inhabit at sort of a level you don't even choose, right? You have a way of viewing the world that you've inherited from people around you, from the culture that you're in. All of these different pieces form and shape what we call worldview. There's some other names for worldview. One of my favorites, and one of the ones that's probably the best, it's a little more clunky to say out loud, but it's something called social imaginary. It's how you think about the world that you actually inhabit. What are the parts that make up your thoughts about the world? So if you imagine sort of a scenario where what you think about the world is a room and there's furniture in that room and how that furniture is arranged and all of that stuff, those ideas, that image, that picture, how you put that room together, some of that you've inherited from your parents, and some of it you've inherited from a broader culture, and some of it's just because you're the age you are, right? But all of those things shape what that room is. That room is what we're talking about this semester. That's what worldview is. And we're going to look at some very specific pieces of furniture within that room. Okay, we're going to do the same thing now. I'm going to give you 5-ish minutes to talk about what the word seminar means. I want you in particular to ask the question, what does seminar mean? And what's required of you because it's a seminar? All right, I'm going to pause it again, and I'm going to give you 4 or 5 minutes to work on this, and then we're going to come back together. In your notes section, you should be writing down the word seminar and what you think the word seminar means. If you're done at your pod, if all of you are done, you're welcome to talk to each other about what you think this word means. Awesome. I hope you guys had some awesome answers for what seminar is. Here's what our definition for our class is going to be. This is what's going to show up on quizzes and stuff down the road. A seminar is a course that's reliant on the discussion and participation of students as learners. This requires the involvement of each student. All right. Seminars work if the people in the room do the work ahead of time, if they're ready to go and have these conversations, if they're willing to be honest with each other. As you get higher and higher in your education, you're going to have more and more of these seminars. Early on in college, you're not going to have as many, but by the time you get to the late end of college, your last 2 or 3 years of college, and grad school especially, you're going to be in seminars. My entire life when I've been in seminars, they've been a total mixed bag. Sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes the people have done the work, and the seminars are the best class you can have. There's other times where people just slough off and they don't pay attention and they don't engage, and seminars suck. And that's just the reality of it. That's how it goes. So, what I want to encourage you with on the front end is the more you put into this class and the more your classmates put into this class, the better this class is going to be. We're going to get way more out of it. We're going to enjoy it more. And it's just going to be a better overall experience for everybody. So, that's what a seminar is. That's what a worldview is. So, when we put those together, a worldview seminar, this is our class looking at the kind of key questions and components that make up our worldview and being able to talk to each other about that stuff. All right. This is not going to be a class that's constantly quiet where I'm just having you read in corners or something like that. This is a class that's going to need involvement and engagement. And for some of you, that's terrifying. And I understand that. And for others of you, it's exhilarating and exciting. We're going to try to split the difference on that. Okay. But that's what we're doing. You guys have your notebooks set up now. Now you are ready to go. And now we're going to move into the next piece of what we're going to talk about.